Hi everybody, I'm going to be sharing with you how I created this canvas. And this is just a canvas. It's sticky on the back. I believe it's from Claudine Helmuth. It comes in a 12 by 12 sheet and I cut it down to 6 by 6. And I'm working with it with the backing on it. Once I'm finished, I add it to some chipboard. So what I did first was I added some gesso. And then now I'm adding some multi-medium, and so I can add some micro beads, which I am addicted to them. They're just lots of fun, gives lots of fun texture to your projects. So there I'm just adding them, and they stay pretty well with the gel medium, so you don't really need to add, I don't add any on top. Um, I know some people do, but I don't find it necessary. Here I'm adding some shimmers paints, and this color is just gorgeous. It is Sugar Plum, and I also use Tickle Me Turquoise in the paints as well, and a little bit of coal. And I'm just adding it randomly onto the micro beads, and it's really neat how the micro beads just kind of soaks up the the paint. It's really neat, and I kind of splatter it on a little bit too. Didn't really know exactly where I was going with this canvas. I just knew that I had to use this color. It's been sitting on my shelf, and it's just really gorgeous. And here I'm using the textures in Tidy Whitey, and that's a Tim Holtz mask, and I really love it. It just gives kind of just a little bit of dots, I guess. They're kind of different sizes, so fun texture. So here is some Blue Fern Studios chipboard pieces, and these are like the brick pieces. And I cut one of them up, and I painted it with gesso. And I end up kind of painting it a little bit here and there with a few different colors, but just for now I glue it down with some Fabri-Tac and on two of the corners. So here I'm adding some of that coal color, and I do have a little bit of water on my paintbrush so that it's not so black. And also, you'll see these chipboard pieces. It says enjoy the journey. I did want to use those on my canvas, but it just didn't end up working out. I used a stamp sentiment or quote instead. So, and also I don't end up using that lace in the end either. Um, and I'm adding kind of trying to darken up some of the spots there, and I don't really know exactly where all my embellishments are going to end up, so just doing it where I feel like it, and if it gets covered up then it does, but at least it's done so that I'm not trying to paint under all that all those embellishments later on. Okay, so a quick tip. You'll see here, it's kind of like a harsh light now instead of an overall light. I had to see what I was doing, so I pointed my light down towards my desk. It's normally pointed up towards the ceiling. I know it doesn't really make any sense, but most cameras will try and capture the ambient light around, and it'll give an overall better light instead of direct light on to your project or your desk. I hope that makes sense. So with that said, I use some cheesecloth, and here is the Tickle Me Turquoise. It's super pretty, and these two colors are just so pretty together. And painting it on, splattering it on, and I am trying to get a lot of that glitter on the bottom of the paint container. So here are some strips of paper from the Finnabar Vintage Vanity, some music notes. I just felt like I needed to add something there, and the color it just went really well. So I tore them up in strips and then inked the edges. And then I'm now inking the edge of the canvas with some walnut stain. And then I added a little bit of the sugar plum paint in a misting spray bottle with a little bit of water so that I can mist it on instead of paint it. Just gives a little bit different look to your project. These are the wood veneer pieces you can get at Michael's, and I'm just painting this with some gesso. And then I add some of the sugar plum and the Tickle Me Turquoise paint. I spray that one on, and then I paint the Tickle Me Turquoise. Sorry, it's kind of a mouthful. I'm splattering on the coal color. It's just a black with lots of glitter. These paints have so much glitter. It's in shimmer. They're so pretty. So I don't want it perfect. I don't want the whole thing painted. And I believe that is a snowstorm. I use that so that can kind of drip a little bit, and just I dabbed off the excess paint. Here I'm drying it, and then I'm going to try to play with it to see how I want all my embellishments. And I did add some of the black lace there. That's from the Piece by Piece. The stamp set is Kind Words from Verve Stamps, and I just love this quote. So I spray these Manor House Creations flowers with the snowstorm just to kind of tone them down just a tad. And then what I do to get the shape back, because sometimes I spray them a little bit too much and they lose the shape, so I kind of hold it in my hand and kind of crinkle it and heat set it at the same time. I hope that makes sense. I know I work a lot off camera, but sorry for that. These are some more blue Fern Studios chipboard pieces.